I'm really excited about this presentation because it requires all of us to get out of our comfort zone and think a little bit about how companies all over the economy need to reimagine their relationships with their customers. Joe Macleod is the author of 2 books, Ends and Endineering. He has thought deeply about the predicament that we as consumers are in when we have a thing that we no longer want. He's also the founder and chief engineer of the world's first business dedicated to customer endings, AndEnd Consulting, and he's a seasoned veteran in product development. Ruben is the co-founder and executive chairman at Trove, a pioneering branded re-commerce platform that currently supports more than 150 global brands. He was also the first chief sustainability officer at Walmart. So that's enough from me and my hoarse voice. Let's welcome Joe and Andy to the Circularity stage.
Humans love stories. We've been telling stories for thousands of years. It used to be our primary way of communicating between generations, long before the printed press or the written word and the internet. And we still love telling stories through games and movies and books, even now. And we're so good at that storytelling that we can synthesize even quite complicated stories down to like a sentence, for example. So, for example, Jurassic Park. Scientists clone dinosaurs to create a theme park until they all break free.
Or Hansel and Gretel, 2 abandoned siblings in a dark woods who have to outwit a witch that wants to eat them.
Or A Christmas Carol, a lonely, angry man is visited by 3 ghouls over a course of a night to tell him about his past, his present, and his future, and to change his life forever. Now, with stories and loads of things that humans find really interesting, we create models around them. So we've done that with stories. The Greeks, very early on, created the 3-act play structure. And this was observations from poems and plays, and they thought that these could be broken down into 3 sections. The first act would tell you the context and introduce you to the individuals in the story. The second act would build that story through plot points and building up to a crescendo. And that third act would bring meaning and emotion to a conclusion. Some of our most favorite stories now follow a 3-act structure. The Wizard of Oz is a famous story that we really enjoy looking at and witnessing again and again. It tells those really human stories of friendship, loyalty, challenge, and also tells a story about how each one of them didn't really need anything more. But there was another undercurrent story in each of those acts, which was, there's no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home.
The products that we all sell, the products that brands sell, are stories. And brands are exceptionally good at Act 1. Let's take a look. Don't forget that was yoga pants. An incredible emotional Act 1. Let's take another one.
Greatness needs a lot of things. But it doesn't need an audience.
Oh, I still love that. That was sneakers. And let's look at one more. Never stop exploring. This is outdoor gear. Brands are so good at setting up these emotional openings, at connecting with us on a human level. And now let's talk about where brands go after that incredible buildup, right? Get ready. Roughly 70% of the shoes and clothing end up in landfills. Wow, that's emotional.
We are great at doing that first act, and we over-index on that. We've got such a lot of meaning and purpose in that first act, and then our brands just drop off a cliff, abandoning those consumers. And there's such a gigantic opportunity space to add meaning and emotion in those second two acts. Because stories need balance. A good story, as the consumer, the reader, the viewer comes into that story, they go through layers of meaning, understanding different aspects of that story. And then they see that story unfold, and then they come back out through those layers of meaning and emotion. And we need to think more about how we tell these type of stories in our products and brands.
So what would it look like if the products brand sold took us through the entire story, just as Joe was talking about? There aren't a lot of examples out there, which is amazing, but there are a few. So take a look at 3 different Apple ads as we've parsed them into Act 1, 2, and 3.
Hello, I'm a Mac.
And I'm a PC.
Ready to get started?
Well, not quite. Got a lot to do. What's your big plan?
I might make a home movie or maybe create a website, try out my built-in camera. I can do it all right out of the box, so what about you?
Hello, I'm a Mac. And I'm a PC.
And I'm a Mac genius.
A what?
CPC, every Apple store is a thing called a Genius Bar. It's a place where people like her will answer any questions you have about your Mac.
Like if you want to go wireless, you want to transfer your files over to one.
You've done great things with your iPhone. But at some point, you'll be ready for something new. You can easily trade it in with Apple, so it can be refurbished.
We've been looking at those 3 clips a lot, and there are clearly opportunities. But if you noticed, Act 1 starts with where the technology and the computer fades away. Right, and that theme follows all the way through the 3 acts, just as Joe was showing on a slide, the narrators, etc. Right now, these are opportunities for brands, right? Brands can elevate through these stories, through the products, and elevate the story. But where we're going with agentic commerce and other things on the horizon, these are not just going to be opportunities, these are a necessity. If this is a topic that you want to talk more about, interactively in a workshop, Joe and I will be running that workshop at 1:30 today. We're joined by Nellie Cohen, who I don't know where Nellie is, Patagonia, branding, 10 years, launched Warren Wear, advising brands since, and Chris Riley, who is here, spent a majority of his career at Wieden and Kennedy. There's Chris. And Chris worked on the Nike ad and the Apple ads we were just looking at. And so Chris later then went to work for Apple in strategy and now Studio Riley. So please join us. We are incredibly excited about the role that brands can play in looking at the full life cycle of the product and telling the full story, not just the opening. And how when brands do that across the product, that can elevate the brand itself. Thank you.